If you're feeling lost, this video is for you. My name is Jack, and over the past few years, I've dropped out of university, left my dream job, moved across the world, and started over more times than I can count. But through all the chaos, I've learned some things about finding direction when life feels impossible. This is my story and the lessons I learned. For the past 5 years, I've been a videographer and photographer. It started with this channel actually, making travel videos for fun and seeing where it would take me. But I did not expect where I would end up. My first job was a video editor for a YouTube channel with 2 million subscribers. And it was the first time I was using my creativity for someone else. And the videos we made absolutely blew up. The first video we made got 2 million views, the second 12 million views, and the third 23 million views. I was pretty proud. But after that last one, I was also super burnt out, working 80-hour weeks, sleeping at this YouTuber's house just to get the work done. And so I quit. That was when I learned my first lesson, that going down the road less traveled sometimes can lead to amazing outcomes. I had an economics degree to my name, but for me, working a 9-to-5 in finance simply was never on the table. So a few months later, my friend invited me to travel China with him. And so I did, for 2 months. It was incredible. I saw some of the most stunning scenery I'd ever seen in my life. And soon after, life took me to Hong Kong. And through a connection, I landed an interview for a media company as head of video. And I absolutely failed the interview. I got to the interview completely unprepared, and the manager unimpressed. So I decided I would prove why I deserved the job. I went to a local cafe and asked them if I could film a free promotional video, asking my friends to be actors and editing and producing that video myself. I then made another video interviewing my friend and sharing his story. And to top it off, I made a presentation on why they should hire me. Thankfully, I was given a second chance, and somehow it worked. It was a dream come true. There I realized my second lesson. You can put your mind to anything and achieve it if you want to. I had the biggest imposter syndrome starting that job, but by the end of it, my manager didn't want me to leave. During this time, COVID was in full force. I was suffering mentally from a lot of terrible decisions that I'd made in my life, and I'd actually caused myself some chronic pain. After just over a year, I couldn't take it anymore. I decided I had to move back to the UK and recover. I knew in my gut it was the right thing to do. And I was proven right. My health, physically and mentally, came back, and I started my own freelance business as a photographer and videographer. In fact, one of the first jobs I got when I came back was working with the now ex-Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. It was amazing to see myself be able to do something that I couldn't imagine I'd have been able to do a few years ago. And so I did this freelance business for about 2 years, living at home, saving up a bunch of money, before I realized it was time for another change. You see, at this point, I was really sick of living in the UK and living at home with my parents. I couldn't stand being in London anymore, a city I'd grown up in, been to university in. I was so done with the cold winters and the constant rain. It was 2023, and I decided to do something a bit different. Instead of traveling for the sake of traveling, I decided to book a volunteering program in Bali, helping save sea turtles. It was the best 2 weeks ever. I was surrounded by animal-loving, spiritual people who loved deep conversations and nature. The camp was based near the beach on the island of Nusa Penida, where we cleaned the sea turtles, set them free, and watched the most amazing sunsets. And that was when I realized life could be so amazing in the right places. After that experience, I realized my third takeaway, that community is everything. Being surrounded by people who share your values, your energy, and your outlook can completely transform how you see your life. When I got back to the UK, I made a plan, and a few months later, I booked a one-way ticket to Australia. This was it, I thought. I would move to Australia. I would get a job as a photographer. I would live in warm weather near the beach forever and live happily ever after. At least that was what I thought. In September 2023, I landed in Sydney and began my Australian adventure. And as soon as I got there, I could tell the difference. People were more relaxed, easy to talk to, and I could just feel a warmth that just didn't exist in the UK. I spent a few months traveling up the East Coast from Sydney to Cairns, seeing some of the best beaches in the world, the amazing Great Barrier Reef, and I even went skydiving. And then I knew it was time to find a job and start my dream life. I decided Brisbane would be the right place. The vibe was right, the weather was nice, and the people were friendly. So for 6 months, I lived there. But I knew there was something missing and I couldn't work out what. I had a few friends, I was doing some video jobs for a few companies, and the weather was pretty hot, also pretty humid too. So that's what I thought was wrong. It must be because it's too humid here. So I moved to the other side of Australia, Western Australia, which by the way took 6 hours by plane. Who knew Australia was so damn massive? And so again, I was starting afresh. I found a flat, I found some friends. I even got myself a photography job that was willing to sponsor me to stay in Australia. I could have got an Australian passport in a few years if I'd worked for them. But I still wasn't happy, and I couldn't work out why. Here I was with everything I dreamed of. Constant sunshine, wonderful job, beautiful beaches on my doorstep, friends. I really thought I was going to live happily ever after here. This was where my fourth life lesson hit me. Happiness isn't found in places or things. Turns out that you can move to the most beautiful location, have everything you thought you wanted, and still feel empty if it doesn't align with who you are. So this time, I thought the problem must be with myself. I must have grown sick of photo and video and needed a change. I needed a new life and a new purpose. So after consulting a few friends, I did the unthinkable. I booked a one-way ticket back to the UK and enrolled myself in a master's course in computer science. This was it, I thought. I could start a new career as a software engineer, work remotely from wherever I wanted in the world, and earn big bucks. So in September 2024, I started this course, thinking that if I can just get through it, I could live my dream life and be rich and do whatever I felt like. So as you all know, life never really goes to plan. I started this course here in Bath with a motivation to get it done. For the first month, it started well. I turned up to all my lectures, but then again, just as so many times in my life before, I felt like something was wrong. I could understand the content, but I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I felt like I was a robot, regurgitating whatever was thrown at me. I tried my hand at coding, and even though I could do it well, something in me said that I didn't really want to do it. I wanted to create art, travel the world right now, and spend my time living my life more richly. So after a few more weeks, I snapped. I knew in my heart I had to drop out. My parents were and still are pretty unhappy with that decision, and understandably. So here I am now. I've just dropped out my degree, and I even started a sales job that I recently quit. Maybe some of you can relate, but I have a history of starting things and not finishing them. That was when I came to understand my fifth life lesson. It's okay to start over. Quitting something that doesn't feel right isn't failure, it's courage. It's about giving yourself permission to change direction and find what truly feels right. What's funny is, through all this, I've learned so much about myself, the community I want to be a part of, and the future I want to create. I realized there's something so joyful about creating videos like these and sharing my story with anyone who's watching. I'm on a journey to rediscover my passion for video, for travel, and for people. This is a video for myself to look back on as a reminder for all the things that I need to move away from. And this is a video to inspire all of you to try as many new things as possible until you find something that feels right in your heart. I want this channel to be a community of people who feel the same way. The ones who are lost, looking to be found. The ones who feel trapped and need an escape. If you're in that place right now, I'm here for you. We'll walk out of this tunnel together.